The name, Big Dongus. The game, JURRAC Ryugi. Speaking of Big Dongus, I got second place at a 101 man tournament somehow. It was 7 rounds of Swiss, 3 rounds of Top Cut. I made it all the way to the final against Triff. In End up throwing, I lost to myself because I misplayed really badly. But yeah, it was a Kong's Games online tournament, so everyone was on the most expensive cards you can get. Everyone was on meta, and it was post banless, post Doom and Dimension. So Yummy had the new Marshmallow and all that. It was a very high level tournament. I decided to bring Jurac Ryugi, probably my favorite deck. And so many people have not read a single Ryugi card, which I don't blame them because they got at least one paragraph for text. And I had so many people asking me, just spectating my games, how this deck works, how do you build this deck, is this the best way to play dinos, what is the sauce? Jurax, more like Gurax, am I right? So this video will be a brief recap of what happened in the tournament, but it'll be mostly in-depth deck analysis. It won't just be me saying, oh, play 3 copies of this, that, and that. It'll be me talking about every card in detail. I won't explain like what their effects are because you probably could just go read them yourself, but I'll be explaining on very specific interactions you can do, why I decided to play them, combos that you might not have thought about. I'll be actually trying to teach you how to play this deck and the reason behind my deck building choices and what I would have changed in retrospect and what I learned from this tournament. So, TLDR, this non-engine was a little bit jank because I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I played 8 different people in the tournament of 10 rounds. Match 1, my opponent never turned up, which is kind of funny, and I played the same guy twice in Top Cuts. So, of the 8 people I played, 4 of them were on Yummies, and it's pretty clear to me that Yummies are the best deck, or the most common deck at least. So, for future, I would recommend just building 4 Yummies, or at least like really planning and having counters for them in your main and/or side deck, definitely. Also, another thing that I kind of realized is that I was pretty scared of Droll and Lockbird, and turns out no one was actually main decking it, so you shouldn't really be respecting it going first, or like game one at least, because if you're going to respect any hand traps, respect like the Ash Blossom instead, which could really matter for stuff like the Ryugi Rising versus the Melody of Awakening Dragon in your order net. Now, before I get into the deck list, also keep in mind I will be doing an in-depth combo video, but that will be a separate video because I'll probably be yapping a lot. I'll be going over very like unique interactions that people might not have realized. So that will be really important if you want to play this deck. So stay tuned for that. It'll come out very shortly after this. What I will say for the deck list is that this deck, Jurac Ryugi, is my baby, honestly. I have played Dinos since 2017, since they got their structure deck. I have played every single variant of Dinos you could possibly think of. I played like Lost World, True King, Thunder Dragon Dino, Shaddoll Dinos, up to Transcendosaurus, Dino Morphia, Evols, along with like the really weird ones like K9 Dinos, Fiendsmith Dinos, Mitsurugi Dinos, along with really garbage ideas like Metaphys Dinos and like Yummy Dinos and Eldritch Dinos and stupid jank like that. Like you name it, I've tried it. Um, Jurax in Ryugi's, I will say, as pure decks, they both suck. Pure Jurac and pure Ryugi, they have strengths, but they're just not complete. They're incomplete, they have flaws. But Jurac Ryugi together is the best Jurac build, it's also the best Ryugi build. It's the synergy is really, really good. They complement each other really well. For example, Jurax, like, okay, what can the deck do well? It's a 1 card normal summon engine. It sets up multiple meteors and has a little bit of follow up, and it also has protection for Misk. Not great at going second. It kind of lives and dies off of Stego resolving, and needs more varieties of game plans and layering and floating effects, more follow up. Ryugi's, on the other hand, um, they lose to Droll and Lancia, which Jurax can play through, but they have lots of 1 card starters. They can search all of your Dino cards, so it gives you even more 1 card starters. It can make plays without normal summoning. It can make Varudras before the normal summon and search your Stego. So it's protection and consistency. And it also gives you access to back rows, which are pretty powerful, which gives you layering and follow up. And the Ryugi cards like Anva, they float when they're popped. So Meteor actually makes you go plus. The synergy is just so good. It really works. I just adore this deck. It's also just menacing going first. If I go first and I resolve my full Ryuki into Jurac combo with the Mistfa, you basically never, like cannot lose. Well, you can, but it's extremely hard. In the last four tournaments, like including that 10 round tournaments against Meta, I have never went first, resolved a full combo with Mistfa into Jurax, the one card combo in not just one. I've never lost after resolving the full combo. Weaknesses, I will say. One, the engines are very big, and I will be getting into analyzing the specific engines like the Jurac engine, the Ryugi engine. It's a big engine, so non-engine inciting can be really difficult, especially going second. You can go up to 60 cards. You do have 81 card starters, but that does go into the second issue. This deck is bricky. Like there this deck, it's think of like yummies, but with like seven extra bricks added into it. Like the deck is good if you don't draw any of your bricks, but like more often than not, you will draw like at least one brick. But if you don't draw any bricks, this deck actually does really pop off and can really hang in there with meta despite being a rogue deck. Namely, Dracula and Emva are the worst ones, but a lot of the other cards like Anva Ryugi Cross, well, I have to call it. It's a good card, but on its own, it does absolutely nothing. UCT, classic card, but on its own, it does nothing. It needs other cards to do anything. So, yeah, I decided on 50 cards as a sweet spot, and I will say that the non engine was pretty suboptimal. I definitely would have changed some stuff, but I will be going over what I would have played. So, let's get into the actual deck list and go by play by play. So what I'll do is I'll be going over each main deck engine individually. I think that will be better. So with the Jurac engine, we got like three Stego, three Megalo, two Eolo, one Volcano. Then for the generic Dino, good stuff, we got two Overraptor, one UCT, and one Misk. Then the three fossil decks for consistency. So let's start with the heart and soul of the deck. The star of the show is Jurac Stego. Now, I won't bother explaining all the effects because you can just read them yourself and you'll probably know that. But I guess some really important things for the tournament is that the battle phase destruction effect, the battle phase effect that can bounce a face up card in the field when it's destroyed by battle, it came up in one game and it didn't even matter. It's so niche, but no one ever reads it as well. Um, you would only ever use this in some super simplified game state, or like if you're trying to out something like Dinomorphia or Rexstrom, or like Psychic End Punisher or Vanities, I guess, if you're playing against Monarchs, and that's it. The really important thing, if you are going to take anything away but Drax Stego, is the best normal summon of the deck, better than Overraptor for sure. The Destroy Ignition effect, so you destroy a card you control, then you pitch a Dino, lock yourself, and special summon that many Drax. It does not need to destroy itself. On resolution, it destroys any card you control, not just itself. That's like really important. So you can use that to play through stuff like Ghost Ogre, or if you're really spicy, what you could do if you're going second, your opponent imperms this, you could use like Forbidden Droplet or Book of Eclipse, put it face down so it dodges a target type, it then still resolves. But a really important thing, a really important piece of synergy with the Ryugis is that Jurax Stego can pop Ryugi Anva, which is really searchable by the way, and Ryugi Ruin. They both float when they're destroyed, and they get you into more layering and follow up and resources. Ryugi Ruin and Anva are both just bricks on their own, and the fact that Jurax Stego can unbrick those cards is really important. It also makes it so the pure Drak combo is just a lot stronger because you have Ryugi combo on top of it. If you pop Anva, that floats into the continuous trap, and then you can make Grenosaur's Giga Cannon mid combo, and then that will float into the normal trap, which you really want. The normal trap is very important going first. So back to the Drak engine, that is really good. And I will be showcasing combos with that. Um, the one thing about pure Jurax is that, like, okay, it's cool. You set up triple meteor, but like you nuke your opponent thoroughly, but like you're nuking yourself as well. And there's like literally no other good Dino extra deck monsters you can actually make because you're locked into dinos. You have no follow up. Like it's really hard to actually close off games. UCT plus the tuner that you revive off the meteor is like the only actual follow up that you get off of Jurax. It's just not enough. You need the Ryugi cards in addition to that to just secure the games, give you layering, follow up, more interruptions, more floating, grind game. You just need it. In Jurax Stego, being able to unbrick the bricky Ryugi cards is really important. Then we've got Drac Megalo. You play three of it. It's by far the better tuner than Aolo. Is a two card combo with Misk and Overraptor, which is pretty important. And the pop effect is obviously good. We want to be popping this set up our nukes. I will discuss the draw effect is pretty relevant. Discard two cards, including a Jurax, and draw two cards for effect. It actually does come up. You can discard your extra Stegos that you get. You can discard Jurac Volcano, which you don't really want to be seeing in hand. But like you can discard it and then set it off of Astero, because Astero can set from graveyard as well, which is really good. You can also discard Drakeolo, and that's pretty important. Um, Another thing is that if you're trying to play through Charmies, like Perulia and Fualos with the Ryugi combo, sometimes just getting this instead of Stego and just setting this can actually be pretty good. But I will be segueing into bricks. I'll be talking about Draculo. You hate to see this card. It sucks. It's a brick, obviously. Like even back in like True King Dino format. But like you kind of want to play two. Now, some really important takeaways I will say is that you can resolve the full Stego combo with only one Aolo needed. You can do that, so that is something to consider. And now that we got the new V Jump promo, HBC, the Synchro and Doom of Dimensions, it wasn't really legal for the tournament I was in because we didn't know it was imported yet. You can absolutely do the full Stego combo with only one Jurakiolo in your deck. You don't actually need two. The issue with only main decking one Jurakiolo is that if any of your level ones leave the hand or deck for any reason, then you cannot resolve Stickle. But I guess a counter argument is that you're only resolving Stickle's effect like once per duel, anyways. So there are actually arguments, even like post siding, for just siding out one of your Aeolos. I can definitely see that. It's something that like you could consider. But a pretty important thing to note is that you can use Drac Megalo's discard effect for Aeolo pretty well. You can also use it to discard for Melody of Awakening Dragon, Droplets, even Super Poly, which I actually probably would recommend considering. You can discard this card for draws if you need to. Definitely think about that. Also, another crazy thing, and I'll show us the combo, but Draciolo plus Overraptor is actually a two card combo that ends on two draws in double nuke, which is pretty funny. You would think like Overraptor plus Aeolo does absolutely nothing because Aeolo's a brick, but there's actually a way you can do that with Overraptor, get Megalo, Megalo, discard this, and OV pop Megalo, bring back Aeolo. It's there, I guess. Like you will be bricking with this deck, but knowing how to play through the bricks and how to get some value out of the bricks and salvage it is pretty important, I think. Then finally, we got the Volcano. It's great to have going first, but you don't really want to draw it. It's good if you discard it of a Megalo successfully, you can plus off of it. It is a nice card to add onto your end board. The protection effect is pretty useful, and the Nibiru Meteor Nuke effect is pretty funny. People were genuinely scared of it and like respecting it. I would recommend siding it out going second, especially like now that we have that new synchro. You don't actually need Direct Volcano to do the full combo, so there is that. Now, generic Dino good stuff. We obviously have free fossil dig. Yes, two Overraptor, and the reason why I play two, you could play one or you could play three if you want to. It's not a one card combo. It does nothing on its own. You can use it to get Misk and set up one Meteor, and that's it. You want to have this in deck because you want to summon it off a miscellaneous. That is pretty important. The main purpose of this is to get UCT, really. And that's like, UCT is your win con. It's what closes off the games. Like, you kind of want it in your deck, but you don't really want to be drawing it that much unless you have full combo. Overraptor's second effect for the combo is really important. Popping Megalo, bringing back another body that maybe has a different level, it can actually enable more synchro plays, so that is pretty important. Also, Iolo is a backup normal summon because you're not always going to have Stego to normal summon. Sometimes you just need to normal summon this instead. This is a two-card combo with all the other low-level dinos, especially Misk. That's pretty important to know. So this is the main deck dino engine. Now I will be going into the Ryugi engine, and this is a pretty big engine actually. So the Ryugi engine is pretty large. Now, what this engine boils down to is Warzone and Mistfa. The win con is basically activate Warzone and resolve both of its effects. The first effect is obviously the really good consistency effect that just is a Rota, Foolish Burl, and Gold Sark. And then the second effect is basically like a Ryugi Soul Charge, which is really powerful. And then the Ryugis that you Soul Charge get you into your back row. If you resolve Warzone fully, you just go like +5 realistically. Like, well, you go like plus more billion. Really, you probably just win the duel. There, you pop off quite a lot. So you really do need to resolve Mistfa and or Warzone. So we play like the 6 copies here. We play 3 copies of the quick play, which is it being a quick play is quite useful. You can use it to just play through draw in your draw phase, or even just get the pendulum, put it straight into your extra deck. So that never really came up. It also has a graveyard effect. It never comes up like ever, even in testing. Then we have 3 Melody of Awakening Dragon. Searching 2 is really powerful. Discarding for costs is annoying, but I guess you can discard bricks. You can search up to 2 as well, so if you break, you can just search 1. Then, if you resolve this and your opponent does not have draw, and you're going first, there's a solid chance that you've just won the duel because now you've got Misfa for the full combo, and you've got the Anva that protects the Misfa from hand traps, which is really good. Even going second against certain matchups, it can be pretty good because going second, Warzone can just summon 3K bodies and give you a pop, and you make Varudras, and you have any dino in your hand. The only issue is like with the Mistfa plus Anva, with Ryugi, Anva being Ryugi Cross, that it protects your spell cards, Ryugi spell cards at resolution, like Rizio Cross does, is that in open game states it can be played around. So like the K9 quick play spell can play through this and just pop your pendulum without this being able to protect it. The Yummy Link 1 can just wait for it to resolve, then use the quick link effect and play through it. Also, Draco Tail can chain the spell card to negate this, the Mistfa, then chain Gramel to pop the Pendulum. Searcher is chain link free, and then that kind of plays for you. So that is kind of annoying, I will say. But yeah, overall, we do have 12 one-card Ryugi combos. It is really good. Even Warzone on its own without the ritual can still do a lot of stuff, for sure. You're still searching, pitching, and banishing any monster of 3 types, which is a lot. Now, we have 3 copies of Anva. You need 3. Because I'm playing the back row, like, you need to have this available to summon one from deck and then summon a second one from deck with a normal trap. But it's also good to have in hand. You also want to potentially search it off of Ryugi Rising or Melody of Awakening Dragon. You can also use this for its hand effect to tribute and special summon. I guess you could use that to out like the Arc Light against Yummies, or just a free key body that summons itself from hand and pops something. Also, like pendulum summoning, it's a thing. I don't think I pendulum summoned the whole tournament, but you can actually pendulum summon if you want to with this. So yeah, there's that as well. The floating effect though is really important. Like I mentioned before with Stego, this like will pop itself and it will float as well. Also, if your opponent like negates and destroys this, which they would with they would have to negate and destroy this with Arc Light, and you'll at least float with this. So that is pretty cool. Then for the bricks, 2 Envas. It's like the worst brick of the deck. Realistically, it sucks, but you need it because you need a Sea Serpent target, and if you only play one and you draw it, you're screwed. So you need 2, unfortunately. We don't play the continuous spell for this Sea Spires. I did side deck it, but in hindsight, I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's just 2 win more. Like if you're resolving your full combo, you're winning already. I mean, you could play Sea Spires if you want to, but I would not recommend it. Hackfoot is actually Hackfoot in Wormwinds are a lot better than Enva because at least Hackfoot can work as a it can get you a floodgate going first, if nothing else, a semi-weak floodgate, but it can facilitate some combos in really niche situations where you pitches from hand, get the Wormwinds, then summon this back when other cards are banished, then recycle Whirlwinds to search your Pendulum, and then your Pendulum is your one card combo, and that actually did come up. It's also quite useful for the anti-Fualos combo, like one of the anti-Fualos combos you can do. And it also just it can also count as win more cards and follow up as well. If you have full combo and you have this card in hand, you basically get to search an extra back row. So you get to get both traps in rotation instead of only one, which is just even more win more for free. And then turn free, when you summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, this can just summon itself in the Banish Zone for just an extra big beat stick. So it does something. Going second is not as good. I would recommend probably siding out the Wormwinds for going second because doesn't really do much going second. The attack manipulation effect never ever comes up, extremely rarely. The floodgate effect is cool, but it does nothing turn two. Even the floodgate effect is pretty situational. So yeah, it's not so. But going first, it is okay, and you still want to play two because if you play one, it's going to be a Garnet, and we hate Garnets, even if it's a guard deck. Then the back row, we have the two traps. They're really important. Now, people do debate whether or not you should main deck these or side deck them, but we all agree they should at least be somewhere in the main or side. The normal trap is extremely important. The normal trap summons Anva from deck, which is an interruption on your opponent's turn automatically. Or you can summon in your turn for like just more plays. And then when you use Jurac Meteor to nuke the field, which you will be meteoring in this deck, Anva will float back into the continuous trap. The continuous trap can then give you a third pop if you have the cards to recycle. And then when you meteor again for the fourth interruption, the continuous trap will float back into the normal trap. And that could be an extra interruption or follow up for the turn after. So, like, what you do is, like, you have the continuous trap and you have Anva. When you nuke the field, both of them float back into themselves. So you just have like the normal trap and the continuous trap. And then like when you nuke again, you like activate the normal trap. And the traps just keep like recurring back into themselves over and over again. It's really cool. The graveyard effect um, is pretty okay for the normal trap. The normal trap can like put this brick like back into the deck and just draw a card. It's there. It comes up. You can like put this back into deck, then reset it. So it's kind of like the labyrinth trap cards. It just gives you advantage. I would think about signing these out going second though. The continuous trap especially. Stego pop the continuous trap going first just saved me a lot of the times. So it is up to you really. I got very lucky. I won most of my dice rolls, and I just went first, which is a little bit cheesy. But hey, sometimes you just win all your dice rolls. Am I right? I went like 7-3 for dice roll wins, which is kind of funny. So onto the non-engine. There's only 12 non-engine slots because you really do need to worry about that trade-off. Do I want more consistency or more non-engine? And I didn't really know what to expect or do, so I just threw together some random jank and just hope for the best. Luckily, I did win most of my dice rolls, so sometimes you just go 7-3 on dice rolls, I guess. So we have one call by the grave, really important. Talents, I think, perform pretty well. It's good going first or second. It's good against yummies, I guess. Could be pretty useful. Decks activating effects on your turn. Yummies have a lot of hand traps, so it's nice to have. The one in Permis is literally like the 50th slot, so like, I guess it's good going first and second. It can help out Arclight, because the one issue with Herald of Arclight against Yummies going second is that Arclight completely ruins you. Like the floodgate effect shuts off both halves of your engine, so you need to deal with that. Perulia, the card sucked. it just never really came up. Like I used it once against Yummy. They got like one draw and they just proceed the full combo, not caring about it, just special summoning everything from grave. So yeah, that was kind of a waste. Or it got ashed once or twice. Like who cares? It's not even good against like Mitsurugi or Draco Tail. They don't care about this either. Fuwalos is a much better card though. Even Fuwalos against Draco Tail and Mitsurugi, like they can kind of play through it. It is good against Yummy, I will say, but I never really resolved it against Yummies. Unfortunately, the only time I really got value out of Fuwalos was against the K9 Arcus player. They just did the pure K9 combo. I got something like 4 draws off of it, which is really good. But my draws were just all engine, and it was almost enough to win a game. I guess like 4 or 5 interruptions. I potentially could have played it a little bit better, but yeah, it did come in. I don't know if I would main deck it anymore, but definitely main our side if who else is worth having. Perulia, not really. Droplets is just there. Card is good going first or second. It's good against Draco Tail to negate their Alfarian. That's pretty useful. It's good to like dodge targeting on your Stego, but that never really came up. Fine going first or second, I guess. I did lose a duel against Triff because of this card because I forgot. Oh wait, it conflicts with my Macrocosmo effect. That was really annoying. But yeah, I would be making changes to this for sure. I'll be getting into that in a second. Let's just go into the extra deck inside. So the extra deck is a little bit tight because the Jurax is 7 cards. You need free Meteor, you need free Astero. Astero is vital, free effects, and the Velfito. Like, there's not too much to explain here. They're just good. Star Slayer was a 15th slot. Like that happens all the time. You take out Star Slayer and it's like, oh wait, I actually needed it. So yeah, I won a game against Draco Tail because of Star Slayer, so there's that. Apart from that, I did nothing. Varudraz is really important. There is a case to be made for playing 2 Varudraz. There are times when a second Varudraz would have come up like against Malice, but luckily I end up pulling through without it. But you could consider it. Free great effects. You can make it with any number of level 10 monsters, like free plus as well. It's also good because you can detach Anva and it goes to graveyard, not extra deck, so you keep it in rotation. So you can summon it with a normal trap, which is really important. Then it can like pop cards on resolution, and then it can float when destroyed by popping another card. So it's really good. You can destroy opponents' cards. You can pop your own Megalos and set up your Mistfa, so it's really good as well. The Evils are like ironically they kind of sucked, and people forget they're not dinosaurs, so you cannot make them under the Stego lock. You could probably like gaslight someone and say, "Oh yeah, they're dinosaurs are fine," and they'd probably believe you because they don't really read these cards. But yeah, playing both of these was not necessary. You don't really have the space for it anymore. Um, I would probably just keep Dolka and take out Lagia. The Evolzars realistically only ever come up if you're doing the Stego Mist combo, which I never really got to fully do. But yeah, Grenosaur's Giga Cannon, that card is the spice. It's goated with the sauce. It is. The card was absolute trash when it came out 2 years ago, but there's actually like a really funny OTK combo you can do with it. It actually did win a game off of this at locals once. Not at the tournament, that would be a little bit too jank. But yeah, this is part of an OTK combo going second with a Misk and Jurax Stickle. It burns for the final 1k damage that you need to OTK, which is really funny. And it's just like the only rank 4 dino that you would play. You're not playing Steam Sabersaurus. It can pop a card when it itself is popped, which is it. You can use it to set up more meteors by popping the Megalo that meteor revives, and you don't have any other ways to get follow up meteors. But the really important thing why I play this is because in this very specific combo, it can pop Ryugi Ruin, and that will get you access to your normal trap. So Jurax, Diggle, Pop, Anva came up quite a few times, and you make this, then you pop Granosaurus with the Drak Volcano, then Drak Volcano will pop the Ruin, and the Ruin will give you the normal trap, and then the normal trap gives you this for a pop, and then that goes back into the continuous trap, and you get another pop of that, then you Meteor again, and then that goes to the normal trap. You get the deal, it's a good card worth playing in. It would be nice if we actually had other good Dino extra deck monsters, but unfortunately we do not. The free links, Reaper sucks. It's like a Dino link too, but like it just never matters. It's you would only ever consider making this if you need to link off Hackfa and put it in graveyard so Warzone can resolve, or you can recycle it, but that never really came up. It comes up like once every like 50 games or something. So yeah, Little Knight and Anima are there as just generic link twos, but it's can occasionally come up where Little Knight can like banish a card from graveyard so Hackfa can get its floating effect. Then if you need Hackfa to like you need that extra level 10 body or you need it to like use its search effect with the Wormwinds, you can do that. You could consider just taking out the Anima. Also consider you cannot make this under the Ryugi or Stego lock, so there is that. So I would consider playing stuff like Super Poly, maybe Metaltronist, or some funny things you can do with that. Maybe Book of Eclipse or like Ultimate Slayer, and most of those cards do require more extra deck slots, so you do need to think about that. Side deck, last part. I've been yapping for a long time. I got a sore throat. The Sea Spires, I you could side it if you want, but honestly, it never really came up. It's win more. It's only good if you want to make your turn one board even stronger, which at that point you're probably winning already. It is good for making your anti-Fuwalos combo stronger, but that's basically it. You can use Jurac Meteor when you summon it, and then use the Sea Spires to bounce your own ritual back to hand, so you have follow up, which is kind of cool. Dark Ruler No More and Raigeki are both there just to like help play through Arclight going second. That's basically it, because Arclight you need plays for that. Harpy's Feather Duster is really important for Draco Tail and Yummy. You need to bait out their back row. Droll kind of sucked, underperformed. It never came up at all. All the decks can just play through it. It's there for like Dark Worlds or like Mermails or like I used it once against DDD. That was it. I never saved it in. Dogoran is a searchable out to stuff like Lunalight, Panferdant, the big Lunalight, but I never played against Lunalight. It's a searchable out to like Arclight, so it's there, I guess. Ash Blossom is there for when you're going first. I wasn't a big fan of Ash Blossom in main deck because ashing going when you're going second against Yummy is just not enough. It's only good if you have like other hand traps like Critical Mass, which we're not playing. It's good going first against Fuwalos or against like maybe against Draco Tail to hit their branded fusion card, but that's basically it. And you side out the Charmies that you have for this, so you can go first better. Phantasme is saucy. You can use it going second against Yummy. You can summon it, fix your hand, get a more consistent hand, and you have a free big body that can beat over something and protect you from targeting, which Yummy likes to do. Apart from Yummy, though, it's not really good. And you can summon it on your turn because Yummy do link summon on your turn as well. So there's that. Final card is Magnamut. I would consider putting it in the main deck actually. It's better against Draco Tail now because they have the light targets. Um, it's actually like not so bad now. Going second, Magnamut is just a consistency card. You summon it, get a nice big body, you interrupt your opponent's graveyard, and you get a free search. It's a consistency card, but also giving you a body and an interrupt. It's quite solid against Orcusts. It's good against the Mitsurugi if their monster gets tributed. You can stop it from summoning itself back. It can be good against Yummy. If they have Yummy Surprise or the Synchros, they can like fizzle out your Magnamut, which is really annoying. But you can, worst case scenario, if you go second, you have Magnamut, you open with it. You can just use it again on your turn. Then if that gets stopped again, you could just like use it as discard fodder. So yeah, that is it. The main side and extra. There's a lot more I could say, but I will leave that for now. Yeah, I will say best of luck if you want to play this deck. It is not easy. All the Ryugi cards have a lot of text. It is a loaded dice against you if you're going second. It is very difficult. Going first, you also need to pray that you can play through the right hand traps in that you don't break, but it is a very fun and rewarding deck. And because of the generic nature of just generic Dino, generic Xenotype off of Ryugi Warzone, I'm really excited to see what generic like Worm, Sea Serpent, Dino cards we can get. Cards actually like improve this deck, or even just random ass Dino support, which it will happen eventually. It will happen. So yeah, this really is the best deck. Honestly, probably best Dino deck. The best deck. It should have gone in first place. I think we got to bring it. I've got to bring it to YCS. Next YCS, I think I will bring this deck. I think I'll get first place at YCS 2026. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this deck gets put in the ban list. It is that good. It could probably beat full power tier as well. It is that good. Yeah, I will be making a combo video, and that's the end of the video. Jurax Ryugi, best deck, baby.